I remember when you first ran Phoenix, and you weren't at all pleased with how busy it was at first.
That's the thing. Then you get used to it. Then you realize how good, how close, and how much of a technique it takes to drive an oval. Then you begin to enjoy it.
Teo Fabi was very quick in the practice, and now he's in the pits with a problem, Jan.
Well, Teo Fabi has just brought his car in, and at first the Jim Hall crew thought they could get it fixed, but it looks like a broken header for the Pennzoil machine. Just where they put the side pod on there at the moment, underneath there is where the exhaust system is. That broke, and you can actually see that the paint is bubbled. And we'll try and get a word with Teo here in a moment.
They were working on that car with a new addition, not a shark fin like you see on Little Al's car, but a wider cowling behind the pop-off valve on Teo's car, which they said were helping the aerodynamics on the short ovals. Also, remember, Teo Fabi has announced he will not be back with Jim Hall Racing next year. But he did say that he sure would like to be in the Indy cars.
Interesting that he announced that. It was actually, yeah, it was Jim Hall told him his services would no longer be required with this team for next year. Rumor has it he may go and form his own German touring car team and drive it for next year.
Let's go to Jan Vikas.
Teo, first of all, what puts you out? And also, we were just talking about your plans for next year.
Well, I had a broken exhaust. That's the reason why we stopped. And I think I have a very good opportunity for next year, so I will be back.
So you can't tell us who yet, though? Can you tell us who that'll be with?
I don't know yet, but I feel good opportunity, and I'm sure one is going to work.
Thank you, Teo.
Thank you.
The best version I ever heard of that uttered was Derek Daly, who said, our plans for next year will be very, very exciting. And you didn't have a thing, did you?
Didn't have a single thing. But somebody who's actually shadowed the Pennzoil team all this week, and in fact 2 weeks ago also, was Derek Warwick. He is still here, still wants to become an IndyCar driver.
Al Unser Jr. leads the race now by almost 2 seconds over Nigel Mansell. That battle is broken off at the front.
Here's something that's a bit scary for Robbie Gordon. We saw Al Jr. just lap him once again. He just radioed in. He said, I've never been as afraid of a car as I am right now. Robbie Gordon, who we're on board with now, has his hands full with the Valvoline car in all sorts of trouble.
There's the Ford Electronics telemetry. Running in 5th gear, up above 1,200 RPM, topped at 178 miles an hour.
Give you an idea how much different that is for qualifying. 198 they hit during qualifying. It's 20 miles an hour slower. Believe me, between the concrete walls, when you're uncomfortable, you're actually scared in the racing car.
An interesting admission for Robbie Gordon. So you see his whole demeanor is one of being fearless.
Brash Gordon, you would never believe is scared in anything. He is uncomfortable.
Al Unser Jr. just flashed over the line with the 101st lap. It is now, should rain come into the picture, and we don't have any indication of that at this moment, but should it rain, it is a legal race. They could flag the race and declare a winner.
Now, you might be interested to know how we can't see Robbie Gordon sawing at the wheel, even though he's in so much trouble. The key to oval track racing is you have to feel it before it happens, because when that happens, it's already too late.
Well, let's check in on that comment from Gordon. There's Gary Gerald in the Walker pits.
Eric, we understand your driver has radioed that he's got a real handful. Is this a dangerous situation?
Well, it's certainly a handful. You know, we didn't really give him a very good car, I don't think, today, and he's really having his job cut out for him. But we're running for as many points as we can get and try to, you know, get our pit stop so we can try and correct it.
Now, how much of this may rest in the fact that he missed your warm-up session this morning and you had to go recruit Buddy Lazier to get a few laps in the car?
Well, maybe it might have given us an indication, but the temperature was a little different in the morning to what it is now, so you never can tell. You know, until you actually race, you don't really know what it's going to do.
Did you figure out where Robbie was at 9 o'clock this morning?
I think he was having a lie-in. He was sort of, he didn't get his wake-up call, so he kind of got left behind. But we're doing the best we can, and we're trying to get some points, keep running.
Thank you, Derek. It's been a crazy day for this team, Paul.
Yeah, there is good news for that team, though. Starting 24th was another team member, Willie T. Ribbs. He now runs in 12th place. 105 laps are complete. Al Unser Jr., Nigel Mansell, Paul Tracy, Fittipaldi, and Mario Andretti, the top 5, as the action continues. Every International Speedway, the Slick 5200, under yellow again. Mario Andretti with damage sits out toward the wall. An interesting situation. Teammates involved.
Teammates crashing into each other. Mansell much quicker, off 4, down inside, top of your screen. Mansell is clearly past Mario. Mario obviously doesn't see him. I presume he didn't see him. Moves down when Mansell was clearly ahead. And Mario unfortunately makes very heavy contact with the outside wall and is still trapped in the car.
They're going to take their time with Mario. He's talking to the rescuers. He's conscious, moving around. They just want to make sure they can get him out without hurting him. Here it is. Look at the top of your screen again.
Mario must not have seen Nigel. Nigel's off the racetrack. Now he's ahead of him. Look at his front wheels. Ahead of Mario as Mario's left front drives over the top. Jump on the brakes. And goes into it again, into the wall.
Mario down that low. Nigel, centrifugal force was pulling him up. Very gingerly gets out of the car.
Glad to see him get out. One of the biggest problems with hitting concrete walls with that side impact is the damage the right front wheel can do. That's what damaged Brian Herta up at Toronto.
But it's intact, though. You wonder what else might have, because they're looking at that right leg. Rick Reineman as Emerson Fittipaldi comes in. Jan Beekes is there.
Yes, the first thing we took a look at was the front tires, and there were no blisters on Emerson Fittipaldi's tire this time. You can see they're making a change. It looks like about a turn and a half of front wing. And Emerson, you can see they're making a change. It looks like about a turn and a half of front wing, and Emerson Fittipaldi is underway. The thing is, Paul, we're not sure if he's in the pit window. This seems awfully early to go all the way to the end.
111 laps, Jan. I imagine what they're counting on there is that this race has been punctuated by 4 yellows in the first 111 miles, and they're going to assume that there's going to be another one. Let's go back and take a look at the situation as Mario limps over to the ambulance.
Watch Mansell's position on the racetrack. He's now side by side. He goes off the racetrack into the yellow. Now he can't make the corner. So look, he begins to come back over the yellow line. He comes up a full car length from the yellow line. Now, if Mansell got down there and didn't have the grip in the front, he actually slid up into Mario. But in fairness, Mansell was already ahead of Mario. I think Mario should have given him more room, and that accident may not have happened.
He did have a nose in front of Andretti when they actually got together. So we're back under yellow. Al Unser Jr. leads it. Nigel Mansell is still in second place, but of course there is a question about the stability of Nigel Mansell's car. It'll be answered shortly. The official car for IndyCar is Jens Wimtal as he has the green flag ready. The field is on the backstretch. The PPG pace car has already accelerated on the warm-up lane down toward the pits. Al Unser Jr. has picked up the pace, and we're ready to go back to racing speed. Al Unser Jr. got a great restart there. Mansell in traffic trying to pursue. So there are some questions about this race car. He tapped his teammate Mario Andretti setting up this yellow. Here is Raul Boesel closing on him and blows him away pretty quick.
Well, we may have a problem with Mansell. We'll try and get a good look. We can't see any of the right front suspension damage. Usually you see a steering arm or something bent, but Boesel blew by Mansell.
Now that just gets Boesel in 5th place. Mansell's still in 2nd. Gary Gerould, do you have any idea on the condition of Mansell's car?
No, other than the report of grip, but the crew has laid out fresh rubber. They're waiting for him on pit road. Nigel, just before the green, issued his apology on the radio, told the crew, please tell Mario I'm sorry. He felt like he was down as low as he could get over there in turn number 1. So now they're waving on pit road, and we await Nigel Mansell.
Mansell on the pit road, making the run down to the pits. Paul Tracy and Emerson Fittipaldi go into 2nd and 3rd as Mansell comes on the pit road. Gary Gerould, give us the call.
Well, we watch and we'll see what the crew does. Immediately, of course, they'll change all 4 of those wheels, get the fresh rubber and the fuel, and we'll see if they look and change anything else. Tommy Wirtz taking a look. Everything appears to be routine, Paul. I'm very surprised. No, now they stall. He grabs the clutch, pops it in gear. Now he's back up to speed as he accelerates accelerates on pit road.
And I didn't see anything obvious in the right front.
No, that was Timmy Coffeen going through his workout for the day, trying to push start Mansell. I'm glad he followed up on that rear wing, but what a costly pit stop for Mansell, who could have made it under yellow flag conditions and had to make it under green. But we're still not sure whether that tire change has actually cured it.
122 laps are complete. 200 laps of scheduled distance. We're running at 108 miles an hour. Gary, an update on Nigel?
Yeah, the crew's assessment was basically what you saw, Paul, and it indicated that everything looked good. But Nigel was not comfortable when the green came out. The car was not handling to his satisfaction. That's why they took that drastic move of coming in. It may well be a move that may have cost him the race now. Let's go to Jan.
Well, you're talking about right front tires, and Raul Boisel is a guy that radioed in, says the car is balanced, but I have a big vibration in the right front. We told Dick Simon that some of the teams had actually blistering right front tires. They got very concerned, but now they feel it's just a vibration problem, not a blistering problem.
Have we seen this before in the season? The first three. Hunter Jr., Tracy, Fittipaldi, all Penske. The only ones on the leader lap.
Mansell is still in trouble, you can see it. Boisel again pulls down to the outside and blows by him. Watch how easy it is for the Penske. Mansell is in trouble. He is in trouble. He doesn't like to drive racing cars that are scary. I'm sure he's on his way to the pits again.
At the same time, Raul Boisel has definitely picked up his pace as he moved into fourth, got around Michael Andretti to accomplish that. So Raul Boisel, who was very fast in qualifying, finally got going here, is beginning to move in. Let's go back in the field. 10th place is Adrian Fernandez. Remember, he had that spin right at the start. There's your onboard camera. Just ahead of him is Scott Sharp as we take a look at the Delco Electronics telemetry here. Keep an eye on those lateral Gs. Look at those things built in the corner.
What a colorful billboard Adrian Fernandez in the Gallus car is. Very colorful. Well, this is a good example of a driver growing in confidence, becoming much more mature. At Mid-Ohio, able to race wheel to wheel with some of the names that he only dreamt and read about for so many years. Big star name in Mexico.
Yeah, colorful billboard, but that one blocks our view of the dashboard. You don't think that's intentional, do you? We got this other dashboard.
We got the other Delco dashboard.
A couple of different camera positions on that car, by the way, one of them looking backwards.
Now, Fernandez did have some trouble because when we were under yellow, he made two pit stops, one after the other, trying to correct whatever it was.
Adrian Fernandez rear view, there's the Mexican flag, which he carries today because it's election day in Mexico and he wishes that he were part of it. So this is how he shows his patriotism. Nigel Mansell into the pits once again, Gary.
Paul, he radioed in and says, I can't drive the car the way it is right now. Now, it may be premature to say that he is totally out of the competition. We'll wait and see if he shuts the engine down. He's coasted to